Hello and welcome to this year's monitoring process for the Title II Part A program. This presentation will discuss the selected Title II Part A requirement. We will go over the documents that the school system will need in order to participate in the process, as well as the items that TEA staff will review. This presentation is intended solely to provide general information and guidance to Texas LEAs, ESCs, nonprofit subgrantees, and participating private schools receiving equitable services. The content in this presentation reflects the Texas Education Agency's current understanding of statute and applicable federal guidance. The content of this presentation is subject to change as a result of future guidance and/or other updates provided by federal agencies with regulatory oversight of these programs. This presentation does not constitute legal advice, and entities are, therefore, advised to seek legal counsel regarding the information and guidance provided in this presentation before acting upon the information provided. Recording use of artificial intelligence. The Texas Education Agency, TEA, does not permit third-party recording or use of artificial intelligence, AI, summary services during its grants-related trainings. Attendees of TEA's grants-related trainings may not use AI services, language models, applications, interfaces, or assistance to attend, review, or record the trainings. TEA further prohibits any person or entity from using the information included in its grants-related trainings to train AI technologies. Any attendees of TEA's grant-related trainings who violate this prohibition may be removed from the trainings and might be barred from attending future grants-related trainings. Documenting overall compliance for a program requirement may require several forms of documentation to be maintained locally and available upon request by TEA and/or an auditor. To ensure overall compliance with program requirements, LEAs should refer to the program guide and/or other program-related resources that reference the multiple forms of documentation required to be maintained locally. The documentation requested for submission during the validation process may not include all forms of documentation that are required to be maintained locally. Title II Part A statute requires the LEA to meaningfully consult with teachers, principals, other school leaders, paraprofessionals, including organizations representing such individuals, specialized instructional support personnel, charter school leaders in an LEA that has charter schools, parents, community partners, and other organizations or partners with relevant and demonstrated expertise in programs and activities designed to meet the purpose of Title II Part A. The statute also requires the LEAs to use data and ongoing consultation and seek advice from individuals and organizations described above regarding how to best improve the local education agency's activities to meet the purpose of Title II Part A. The documentation required for Item 1.1 are relevant pages of the District Improvement Plan. Acceptable documentation include the title page and relevant pages of the District Improvement Plan that describes how the local education agency will use data and ongoing consultation to continually update and improve activities supported under Title II Part A. The process referenced in the documentation should include a listing of stakeholders' involvement in the consultation process. The listing should include the individuals by name and the stakeholder group role that each individual represents. The required stakeholders include teachers, principals, other school leaders, paraprofessionals, including organizations representing such individuals, specialized instruction support personnel, charter school leaders in a district that has in-district charter schools, parents, community partners, and other organizations or partners with relevant and demonstrated expertise in programs and activities designed to meet the purpose of Title II Part A. Please note, parents who fill the parent role on the committee may not be LEA employees. Issues that might result in an improvement needed status include the following. Auditable documentation requested was not submitted. Documentation submitted does not reference the consultation process. Documentation submitted does not reference stakeholder consultation with all the required stakeholders. The documentation required for Item 1.2 is documentation of a meeting agenda. One meeting agenda is required to be submitted. The agenda should provide evidence of meaningful consultation with the required stakeholders in the development of the Title II Part A program. It should be clear from the agendas that the stakeholders had a genuine opportunity to participate in the planning and decision-making process. Documentation should align with the documented process referenced in the documentation submitted for item 1.1. Issues that may result in an improvement needed status for item 1.2 include the following. Auditable documentation requested was not submitted. Documentation submitted does not reference the name and date of the meeting. Documentation submitted does not demonstrate representation of the required stakeholders. The documentation required from item 1.3 is the related meeting minutes corresponding to item 1.2. Acceptable documentation includes meeting notes. Minutes are required to be submitted for the meeting reference in 1.2. Such minutes should provide evidence of meaningful consultation with all the required stakeholders in the development of the Title II Part program. It should be clear from the minutes that the stakeholders had a genuine opportunity to participate in the planning and decision-making process. Documentation should align with the documented process and the list of stakeholders involved that are referenced in item 1.1. Issues that might result in an improvement needed status for item 1.3 include auditable documentation requested was not submitted. Documentation submitted does not reference the name and date of the meeting. Documentation submitted does not demonstrate the opportunity for participation in the planning and decision-making process. Documentation required for item 1.4 is the related documentation of attendance for the meeting reference in 1.2. Acceptable documentation includes the sign-in sheet submitted for the meeting reference in 1.2 and should include the meeting date, stakeholder names, roles, and signatures for the required stakeholders. The meeting date, names, and roles of the participants must be documented on the participant roster. Documentation should align with the documents list of the stakeholders involved that are referenced in item 1.1. Note: if the meeting was held in a virtual environment, the LEA may substitute a participant roster in lieu of a sign-in sheet that includes signatures. Issues that may result in an improvement in the status for item 1.4 include auditable documentation requested was not submitted. Documentation submitted does not reference the name and date of the meeting. Documentation submitted does not demonstrate representation of the required stakeholders. In order to help with documentation compliance, please refer to the chart which shows helpful information for general documentation. Now, let's go over the different resources and support. These resources are available for school systems to review prior to submitting documentation for selected PMV requirements. Please take advantage of these documents to ensure the district is informed of the overall process for program monitoring validations and all program-specific resources. In order to assist with the monitoring process, school systems may refer to the ESA Program Monitoring Validations page, the guidance document, the training slides, and the training video. Furthermore, the school systems may reach out to the Education Service Center for support. These service centers provide complementary technical assistance and training available from each regional ESC. For a list of contacts for each regional center, please go to the TEA Title II Part A webpage. Thank you so much for your time and attention. If you have any questions, please reach out at the contact information listed.